Hey everybody, Peggy here, and I'm back with yet another video. This time the topic is how to avoid getting scammed as an online seller. So, as always, I'm expressing my thoughts and my opinions based on my experiences. So just let's leave that on the table and remember that as we go ahead. I'm not telling you what to do, how to do it. I'm just telling you what my perspectives are. So number one, I'm just going to get right to it. I'm going to get right to it with number one. This is a topic that a lot of people are really afraid of. Oh, I don't want to get scammed, or I'm getting scammed. I don't know how to make it stop. Scamming is everybody's biggest fear on social media. I mean, on online sales. And it is one of the topics that we hear about a lot on social media of I'm getting scammed, I got scammed, I think this person's a scammer. So this is the thing, and I'm going to try my best to stay on track. We know that's not going to happen because I'm a walking, talking shit show, but there you go. Okay, so number one, most scammers are just miscommunications. It is really easy because we hear about this all the time. We have a constant diet of scammer, scammer, scammer. So we're scared of that. As a seller, I'm afraid of getting scammed because, I mean, obviously, I don't want somebody coming in and ripping me off, right? That's normal. So when something happens that isn't quite going according to plan, things aren't going smoothly, it's really easy to go, that person's trying to scam me. We had one person in our group, and I'm probably going to stop with little story time the whole way because that's how I roll. We had one person in my group who was coming in and they were freaking out. And I think I mentioned this earlier. They were coming in and freaking out about I keep getting scammers and I keep getting this and I keep getting that. Turns out something was wrong with the product. So he kept getting complaints and he just decided that he was being targeted by scammers rather than acknowledging that he had a problem with his materials. It was a miscommunication. Okay, I don't want to call it a miscommunication all around. I know there was other elements there, but he was so afraid of getting scammed that when people started asking for their money back because things were showing up broken and damaged and whatever, and not working. He's like, these people are trying to scam me, and it's like, well, no, you're not understanding what's happening. There's a problem with your material. There was a problem with your product, and you need to fix it. No, they're scammers. So it's really easy to let the fear take hold. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD. It really does fuck people up, and it's easier to find complaints and compliments on social media. So it's really easy to constantly run across this. So I would say my personal observations are that about half of this person's a scammer is a miscommunication. One person came into my group freaking out because somebody wanted their money back. They're trying to scam me. They're trying to scam me. They're trying to scam me. Got them talking. Turns out that they were selling, I forget exactly what the product was, like a birthday banner or something. They'd spelled the person's name wrong. Oh, I think they did that on purpose so that they could come back and scam me. It's like, no, it's like you posted the message thread. Come and see for yourself. This person's scamming me. They post the messages, right? It's like, this person spelled the name correctly. You gave them the wrong product. You're just freaking out because you're so scared of being scammed that that's all you can see. Took a lot of people a lot of time. It was a very we finally were able to explain it to that person, like, if you spell the name wrong, it's your fault. If they spell it wrong, it's their fault, right? So that person was fine, but the other person with the broken parts, we couldn't convince him. Oh, you people have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And it's like, okay, we can't help you. We can't help you. Come back in a few weeks when Etsy shuts your shop down. Because if you're selling garbage, that's a whole different video. Let's stay on track. Let's try to stay on track. Okay. It's in everybody's best interest if you treat your first few messages back and forth with a customer. Customer has a problem. It's everybody's best interest if you treat the first couple of interactions as if it's a miscommunication. You will weed out this really is a problem and I'm just up in my feels versus this person's a scammer. I will also point out that if you are communicating with somebody and people get vicious, customers get vicious when they're not getting their way. So what I see a lot in my group, again, that's not really a story time. This happens like a lot. It's like, customer said this, customer said this, calling me names, doing this, doing that. They were outraged. They were mad. They were angry. I responded with this. Now what should I do? It's like, well, you should have come into the social. If you're in social media and using social media as a resource to get help, information, and answers, go there first before responding to your customer and escalating the situation. I've had people come in. Customer said this. I promised them a replacement, but now I think they're a scammer and I don't want to. It's like, you've already put it in writing for them in an Etsy message that can be reviewed in the background that you're going to give them a replacement. You're done. So Not every miscommunication is a scam. Not every miscommunication isn't a scam. That sounded just logical as fuck. Anyway, that's the number one. Please keep that in mind. And if you are in social media, if you are in social media or other groups looking for forums, getting help and advice on how to handle things, go there first. Go there first and see if you can get some answers and some ideas on how to approach your customer, so that way, if it is a miscommunication, you can smooth things over quickly and easily instead of you accidentally escalating. That's a whole second thing. Okay, so social media is where most scammers find their victims. There's two kinds of scamming. You'll be minding your own business and suddenly this weird inquiry comes in through your messages. Etsy has an entire back-end messaging system, so if you've ever bought on Etsy, you've seen it. Oh, I want all this stuff. Here's this. I have a list of 100 things that I need, blah, 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 blah. Click this link to see my list and let me know what stuff you can supply to me because I really am enjoying your shop. And this is targeted at smaller shops with less visibility, especially shops with under 100 sales. 100 seems to be the magical threshold after which scammers are less likely to go after you. Scammers love going after new shops with owners that are less experienced. It's that simple. That's their target audience. So social media most scamming is opportunistic. So, okay, let's back up. So if you're getting messages if you're getting Etsy messages from people that are going blah 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 blah, I want to have a conversation with you off of Etsy. Send me your email address so I can contact you directly. That's usually your first sign that something's going to not go your way. That's usually the first sign that somebody's up to something. And for those of you who are generally buyers who just happen to be watching this anyway, taking the sale off of Etsy. So if you contact an Etsy seller and say, hey, blah, 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 can I just speak to you privately about this? It's grounds for Etsy to terminate your shop immediately because it can become fee avoidance. Etsy exists as a service, and manipulating the system to avoid paying service fees is a problem. If you really, really, really want to discuss something with a particular seller off of Etsy, look them up, and because you can get their email address from I forget how you can get our email addresses now. Anyway, just be aware for everybody's sake that taking the business off of Etsy is a great way for scammers to screw you over, because once the messages are off of Etsy, it's your word against theirs, and Etsy will not believe you without proof. Anyway, that's a segue that I'm probably going to need to address that particular thing. Taking the sale off of Etsy is huge, and I probably need to address that in its own video one of these days. Okay, be careful where you advertise yourself. That's the next one. I'm just moving on with almost no segue. Okay, be careful where you advertise yourself or how you advertise yourself. If you're advertising carburetors in a mommy and me group, you know you're looking at the wrong audience. Scammer spots that, you look desperate. It doesn't matter whether you are or not. You need to remember, it doesn't matter what you are doing. It doesn't matter what your motivations are. It doesn't matter what you're trying to get out of it. It's a matter of how do you look to the person who is going to come along and say, this person looks desperate, I'm going to try and scam them. Sometimes our best intentions, it's the telephone game. It's tomato. It's like what I feel is I might feel like what I'm doing is natural, normal, and expected. But if it turns out that it actually isn't, or I'm doing it in a way that is you're attracting the wrong attention. So my group, and again, that's the best example because that's where I spend a lot. The Facebook social medias is where I spend most of my time when it comes to Etsy stuff. You're minding your own business, and somebody is posting a question that they already know the answer to. It's really obvious. You can tell. You can often tell. Oh, I'm not sure how to do blah. Oh, here's the link to my shop and 37 photos of the kind of things I sell. That's stealth advertising. That is you're not necessarily interested in the question that you're asking. You're just trying to have an excuse to get attention on your shop. And you're usually doing it in an environment that isn't really related to what you're doing. Like I said, trying to sell carburetors in a mommy and me group, that doesn't make a lot of sense. If I'm a scammer and I spot you doing it, I'm going to think that you're desperate. If I spot a group where self-advertising isn't allowed, but then I see questions with your link or photos or like one photo of your product, I'm trying to figure out how to ship this. Here's a photo to get an idea of what I'm trying to do. That makes sense. I'm trying to figure out how to ship this. Here's 37. I'm trying to figure out how to ship this one item. Here's 37 different items that are unrelated, plus my shop link. Plus, oh, by the way, I'm going to make it a point of mentioning in my post. Oh, and by the way, in case anybody cares, I'm having a sale. That's stealth advertising. You're advertising to a group that isn't, you're advertising to the wrong crowd, for starters. If you are self-advertising in a seller's group, you are automatically making yourself vulnerable to people who are looking for people who seem desperate. For good or for bad, it's almost impossible to spot these guys. Some scammers are also sellers. Like sometimes it's really difficult to spot the scammers. If I spot somebody who is engaging in really questionable activity, I'll get them out of the group, but I have to spot them first. Okay. And some of these groups, there's a couple of Etsy-focused groups on Facebook alone that have like 60, 70,000 members. If I ran that group, I would never be able to spot the scammer, even if they were being blatant about it. Another way that you can get spotted by scammers is somebody will say, I am looking for a blah. Drop your links here so I can decide who to buy from. Well, everybody wants to be noticed. And again, this is social media, forums, whatever, and you as a seller, it's beneficial to you as a seller to be in these groups. It is not beneficial to you as a seller to be self-advertising in these groups. I'll tell you that right now. People who do not, I have a shop, I have a group. The group is my group. Guess what? I have never shared my shop link in my group, either in the group in general or in the, I have a Monday thread, a self-promotion thread, Share Your Shop Monday, where you can share your shop link. I have never shared my shop in either the group in general, and it's my group. If I post my shop in my group, obviously I'm not going to come along and take down my own post. I don't do it. Sharing your link in groups and spaces, in social media groups and spaces that are not related to what you do and have no, it makes you look desperate to the scammers. You may not be feeling desperate. Oh, I'm just proud of myself and I'm sharing. Obviously. Okay, that's fine too. That's not how a scammer perceives it. So share it. And another thing, and this is going to sound really weird. This is a little bit backwards, but do share your shop link on your personal page. The number of times I've seen people all over the social media is, this is my shop, this is my shop, this is my shop, here's my link, here's my link, here's my link. You click and again, for me that's mostly on Facebook, you click their Facebook profile, there's no link. It's like, be proud of what you do. For starters, I don't share my link because I don't want to get scammed. It's like you're sharing it everywhere else where the scammers are looking. Why are you not sharing? If you're not proud enough to share it with friends and family, then that's a catch-22. Some people just do not have supportive friends and family, and that can't be helped. But if you are not proud of what you do to the point where you're not willing to share it publicly under your own name, don't be in the forums and help groups sharing it there instead, because it just creates this thing where it's like, oh, she doesn't even want people to know she has a shop. It's a target. You make that bullseye in your back just a little bit bigger for these people. And again, these are opportunistic people who are picking up on cues that you are sending accidentally, sometimes on purpose. Oh, I'm just going to advertise everywhere and see what kind of sales I can get. It's like, I haven't had a sale in three months and I'm getting desperate. I'm not going on social media and saying that. The minute you announce, oh, I'm getting really desperate for a sale, it's been 3 months. No, how do I improve my shop? I'm really looking at SEO lately. Hey, shipping seems to be, I'm not really happy with shipping costs. Focus on the things that's going on. Read the forums, get more information. But the minute you walk in and put in writing for somebody else to see, I'm desperate, every scammer is going, hello, you're so desperate that you're now in here talking about it. Absolutely talk about what's going on with your shop. I'm having issues with one product. I'm wondering if anybody knows of a better adhesive to use in my production. I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Not, here's my shop, can somebody take a look and tell me how to improve? I'm desperate, I haven't had a sale in 3 months. Well, your next 3 sales are going to be scammers. Not going to be, but the odds go up significantly. Significantly. Okay, so another one is don't shit talk your buyers on social media. Because I will tell you right now, and again, I'm semi-retired. I don't have a day job. I spend way too much time on the socials. So I start to see the trends of the same people that are in there shit talking their customers are the same ones that are coming back going, this person's trying to scam me. What do I do? Because if you've got a really bad reputation for how you deal with your customers, you are gold to a scammer, because there's a really good chance that a complaint could trigger an account review. If you are treating your customers like crap, then you're probably scared to death of an account review, because if Etsy ever sees how you're treating your customers, you can lose your shop. If you're treating them like crap, right? So don't shit talk your buyers on social media. It really, really, really broadcasts a frame of mind that a scammer can manipulate and take advantage of. Let's just leave it at that. Let's not get, I can give examples, and I probably will someday, sometime. Let's not go too much into detail on that, but people that come in, oh, we're just trying to vent. I should be able to vent. I should be able to, it's like, no, 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 no. You should. You can come into social media and vent all you, not in my group. I don't allow it. I don't allow it, because all it does is turns into an I hate my sellers, I hate the buyers, blah, 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 and I don't need it. If you are broadcasting what you think and feel about, if you are shit talking your buyers constantly on social media, you will be targeted by a scammer at least once. And depending on what you're saying and how you're saying it, it could become an ongoing problem for you. It is just a red flag. It's a red flag to a bull. It's like, oh, this is going to be really easy. If I can get her to say that, if I can get her to say that shit to me in an Etsy message, I win every case I can possibly open against her, because that's how it goes. If you are shit talking your buyer, especially in messages, a lot of people come in, I can't believe this person did this. And then they start sharing messages of the exchange. And the exchange is like, I think you're scamming me. I'm not giving you a refund. If that particular person, and I'll tell you right now, it's an automatic lose in the event of an open case. A scammer realizes how easy you are to rile up, and how easy it is to get you to say inappropriate things in the Etsy messaging, which is all the proof in the world. They're getting their refund. You're a target. You just put a target on your back by advertising what you're willing to do behind the scenes, because it's against Etsy's policies to be hostile to the customers, because it's just common sense, right? Okay, so that's just the basic interaction 101. I would say that if you are advertising baby products, oh, hey, people are looking, I make baby diapers. I don't, but let's say I make baby diapers, and I happen to be in a mommy's group, and people are talking about where to get diapers. And it's like, hey, well, just so you guys know, I happen to sell baby diapers. Here's my link if you want it. That's appropriate. That makes sense. I'm really desperate for my first sale, and I sell baby diapers, and maybe some of you dads in the auto mechanics group can go tell your wives about this. That's desperate. Doesn't matter whether you're feeling desperate or not. That's how you look. Be aware of how other people could be perceiving your communications. It's a bit of a mind fuck to say that you have to do that, but if you are going to be going off all over social media every time something isn't going your way, you are setting off, you are waving a red flag in front of a bull, because it just is. Okay. Number 2, make sure your policies do not violate Etsy's policies. Etsy's policies, Etsy specifically, and I know that Amazon Handmade lets you set some of your own policies. I think eBay lets you as well. Okay, all of these companies have their base policies. Now, your policies, any policy that you put in place, will not be protected if it violates Etsy's policies or if it violates state and local laws. Period. So, if you can put all the policies you want in your shop, Etsy is not going to come. At 7.5 million sellers, Etsy doesn't have enough staff to come by and manually review what you wrote as your policies. So you're minding your own fucking business. You've done whatever. Somebody happens to notice your policy, and this is either you've been talking about it on social media or a random person happens to spot this. Because don't forget, scammers know the rules. So they know what rules you're breaking. If your policies are not compliant with Etsy's policies, then guess what? Your policies mean nothing. All of them. It's like I will not replace or refund. No refunds or replacements. You can have that as your policy. No refunds or replacements. But Etsy's policy is that if the product arrives damaged and it's your fault, you absolutely offer refunds and replacements. Period. You don't get to come to your seller, I'm not offering a refund or replacement. If you are not offering, if you're not offering refunds and exchanges or replacements or whatever, then that's fine. But again, if it's your fault, yes, you do. You don't get to if you come back to your seller and they say this didn't show up because this didn't show up and you didn't track it, so you've got no proof that you sent it in the mail, and you say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not responsible for lost or stolen mail. Well, guess what? Etsy's policies say that unless you track, you are. So if you say not responsible for lost and stolen mail, and then advertise the fact that you don't track your packages, you're gold. You're gold to every fucking scammer that spots you, because you are responsible for lost. If the mail is lost or stolen, you are responsible if you can't prove that you ever put it in the mail to begin with. That's a violation of Etsy's policies. So there are certain things. Your policies do protect you, but you have to be sure that your policies comply with the legally required policies, right? You have to be sure of a whole lot of things. So when you get spotted by a scammer for this, then you're going to lose. Another thing is, if you do not have policies of any kind listed on your shop, then you are automatically defaulting to Etsy's policies, and Etsy's policies are, in the absence of you having your own policies, Etsy's policies apply, which means customers can get a refund or exchange or return at any time, and they don't even need to have a reason. Because Etsy's the platform, and they are offering, their policies comply with state, local, federal, international, blah, 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 blah. Right? The finer details of that are on you. So they're going to say, well, good business says allow a refund. So they say that's good business. And if you do not have policies, if you do not have any policies of any kind listed for your shop, scammers know right there, right that minute. They say, oh, I don't like this, I want a refund. There's a big scam where people will buy jewelry, clothing, whatever. They get it, they use it for the event they need it for, and then they want to return it all, right? And it's like, if you don't have a policy that covers that, they say, I do not accept returns and exchanges. They're just going to say, oh, I need to return this now. Oh, well, you just left me a 5-star review saying how it looked beautiful at the event you went to. Like, you can't return it. It's been used. And it's like, yes, I can. You don't have any policies. You have no policies, and Etsy's not going to question. Etsy's policies don't question me on this, so that's too bad. You don't get to stand up for yourself. Now you got to make sure it's covered. My policies are no refunds or exchanges, but please let me know if you have a problem. That gives me more ability to protect myself, because just because my policy is no returns or exchanges doesn't mean I'm not allowed to return or exchange. But it means that somebody is not going to spot me as a sucker and go, oh, she's got nothing there. I can get this, use it, wreck it, do whatever the fuck I want, and return it. There's no policies, and if there's no policy, no problem. You're going to give them their money back, and that's the end of it. Okay. This makes you very, very appealing to this. When a scammer spots this, whether they're spotting it randomly by browsing shops or whether they're finding out about it because you're talking about it in your social media, and a lot of people talk about that sort of stuff. What should I set up for my policies? And people say, I believe it's just customer service to let people do a refund or an exchange. It's like, so do I, but I'm not advertising it. I believe that there are situations where you do need to tell a customer, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you a refund or exchange on this product. It happens. So regardless of what I do about it, because I'm allowed to do whatever I want, now I have the right to say no. Give yourself the right to say no. The biggest thing I tell everybody every time is set your shop to no refunds or exchanges. It will automatically generate a thing that says no. If you click no refunds or exchanges, it will automatically say, but please contact me if there's a problem. It gives you more opportunities to protect yourself if the person that is asking for this is somehow scamming you. Okay, so, and again, make sure your policies don't violate Etsy's policies, and make sure your product is something you can sell on Etsy. I will tell you right now, the number of people that get scammed because they're selling copyrighted stuff. It's like, no, I decided I'm not keeping this. I want my money back. And I don't want to return the product. I'm just not happy, so you need to give me my money back. And now you're trapped. You're selling a copyrighted product. You really don't want that to come to Etsy's attention. You do not want Etsy to know that you're selling copyrighted goods and causing problems for your customers. You're fucking trapped. That's a whole separate ball of wax. Anyway, policies are important. Don't live and die by your policies. If you break it, it's your responsibility. This goes back to being aware of the rules. People that are looking for an opportunity to screw you over, scammers, they know the rules, so they know in an instant when you're breaking them. If you know what the rules are and have yourself protected as best you can, those people are, I'm not worth coming after because my first policy is no refunds or exchanges. Well, nobody's going to take it. No rando scammer is going to take a chance. Well, she's got this in her policies and she's allowed to. So, because the first thing they want a pretty strong guarantee that they're not going to have to be stuck with this product that they didn't want to pay for, whatever, right? Tracking your packages. This is a difficult one. If you are not going to track your packages, don't advertise that. Don't advertise it because I will tell you right now, that makes you ripe for the picking because untracked packages, Etsy is way less likely to support you because it's impossible to prove that you actually put the package in the mail. So I'm going to buy from you because you advertised on social media that you save money by not tracking your packages. So that means all I've got to do is say I didn't get it and you have to give me my money back because you can't prove you mailed it, which means you can't prove that you're in compliance with Etsy's policies, which means I'll get my money back. This goes back to being careful. You don't have to keep everything a fucking secret on social media, but there are people who are just screaming long and loud about this stuff and then can't figure out why they're getting scammed. Okay, this is an interesting one, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me or not agree with me. Don't race to the bottom on prices. People are competing. If your prices are too low, you're going to attract the wrong crowd. Yes, there are people who are looking for a deal. Yes, there are people who think that this product shouldn't cost more than $5. What the fuck's wrong with you? It's like, well, I'm sorry, this product costs $6 in materials. I'm not selling it to you for $5. People that race to the bottom on prices, especially smaller, newer shops that are clearly selling for little to no profit, are primary targets because they can smell the desperation, especially if you're talking about it in social media. Most scammers most scammers target you through social media. That doesn't mean run away from social media. That means be careful how you talk. Be careful what you say. It's okay to be frustrated with a customer. This happened with my customer. I'm a little frustrated on how to respond in a way to keep things positive. Absolutely, ask that question. This customer is a fucking bitch and I can't stand her, blah, 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 blah. And here's the things that she said and I want to say this and humiliate her. Oh, don't fucking do that. Do not do that, but just paint the bullseye right there. Okay. Racing to the bottom on prices, it's a great way to, you've outcompeted yourself. You are now selling at a loss. You're not making any money. Well, scammers are opportunistic, and scammers are quite often people in situations where they do have the time to pay attention to this shit. So they'll know, oh, you're selling for a loss. You must be desperate. Let's go buy something and get it for free. That's a thing that happens because it's opportunistic. It's like you are trying way too hard at it as it is. I can probably find a way to take advantage of you. That's what's going on. Don't accommodate requests that you can't afford. This is also a great way, and this is general advice, but it's also a scamming advice because if somebody is contacting you saying, I'm only going to buy that for you if you give me 10% off, and if you do this, and if you do that, and if you do this, and you do that, that's also a bit of a scam. These guys know you're going to lose money. They don't fucking care. They want the best possible deal, and half of the time, they come back and go, I'm really unhappy with this. I've watched this happen. Here's a story because it's not really it's a series of stories. It's all one thing. I'm going to combine it. This happens on a regular basis. I had a customer come in. They wanted this. Okay, this is how the story always starts. They wanted this, and this. So the customer comes in. They're super demanding. They want all of this stuff, right? So I gave them this discount. I gave them free shipping. I gave them this. I gave them that. They were still upset because they wanted more, but agreed to buy the product. It's like, oh, buddy, they are coming back to you later and telling you that they're unhappy, that they're this, that they're that, there's a fucking problem. And I'm not talking about people that are saying, hey, I'm really broke, how can you accommodate me, and you make that decision. I'm not talking about people that approach you with kindness. I'm talking about the angry, nasty ones that you still bend over backwards to kiss their asses, okay? You have the right on Etsy to do business or not, and you have the right on Etsy to do business or not, and you don't have to provide a reason, okay? So you're still trying to kiss this person's ass. They're, they're looking for a deal. They're opportunistic. They spot something about you, whatever. I'm saying this wrong. Okay. What I've seen happen is the customer comes in looking for a gold chain, and the gold chain is $200. And it's like, well, that's not fair. I think you're overcharging for your product. I don't want to pay more than 50. I need you to give this to me for $50. You come back and you say, well, the best I can do is 75. Well, fine, 75, but I want free shipping and it better be expedited. Like that's $25 for shipping. Okay, I'm in Canada. It can be like 25 bucks for shipping that, right? And I want you to throw in some freebies. And for my freebies, I want this, this, and this. And they're not nice about it. They're not saying, hey, how can you help me? They're saying, I want this. I deserve this. You're ripping me off by asking for this. I've seen this. Oh my God, I've seen this. Seller is desperate for the sale, so they bend over backwards, do all the things. Then they put the package in the mail, it shows up, and then they get, you sent me an empty envelope. I want my money back. Or this chain broke in 2 pieces. I want my money back. They got their thing, and they're not coming back for 3 weeks because they've already been wearing it for a while. They've already been using it for a while. It's like, well, this says your package was delivered 2 weeks ago. Why are you telling me now that you got an empty envelope? Now you're going, okay, either this person's just a really nasty person, or they actually turns out that they were trying to scam. Right? Most of the really sloppy scam, this is sloppy scamming. Most of this kind of scamming is very opportunistic. And the people that are engaging in it, all walks, all types, all whatever. So you cannot judge, you cannot say, oh, well, it's only a $1 sticker. Only a scammer would try and get that for free. Well, no, somebody with no money might be unhappy with the sticker. So, and of course, at the end of we go right back to the beginning statement is most scammers are just miscommunication, but what you think is miscommunication could actually be a scammer having a go at you. It's hard to tell, which is again, take 24 hours, go to the social medias, ask for advice. If it's a known scam, they'll tell you. You'll find out right away. Oh, this happened. Oh, it's a known scam. Ignore that person. Just don't do business with them, whatever. People that are coming at you being really, really aggressively, and I'm not talking about demanding. I've had demanding customers. We all have. I'm talking about aggressively, rudely demanding. Don't do business with them. You don't have to. Etsy won't make you. Amazon Handmade, all of them. No platform is going to make you engage in a transaction that you don't want to engage in. You legally have the right to say no. And all you have to say is, I'm sorry, I cannot process this order for you. Your refund is on its way, and you're done. Hope you can find it someplace else. You're done. Okay. So racing to the bottom on price is basically setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. I think a lot of us have heard that stereotype. If that is the behavior that you engage in when dealing with customers, then sooner or later, at least one of them is going to go, oh, I can get this for free. Watch me. Because again, opportunistic. These are not criminal gangs. These are not organized criminal gangs. These are just opportunistic assholes that think they can get something from you for nothing. So don't jump at every offer. This is random messages. I mentioned it before, and this is where somebody says there's a really big scam. There's a bulk order scam. I'll tell you about this one right now. There's a bulk order scam where they contact you and they say, I need 100 of these. I need 100 of your gold chains. Let's pick gold chains today. Last time I was picking on crocheting, I think it was. I need 100 gold chains. I need this, I need that, I need to be this length, blah, 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 blah. This is my budget. Can I get 10% off if I buy 100 of them, yada, yada. And you're going, oh my God, this is awesome. Isn't it amazing how this only ever seems to happen to shops with less than 50 sales? Okay, now, sometimes bulk orders do come along. And you're going, well, what if this is real? That's a lot of money. It's real and it's a lot of money. So here's what you do. Okay, sometimes recognizing that something could be an opportunity for somebody to scam you doesn't mean you have to. Okay, so I want a bulk order scam. Basically, it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. Okay? They're going, I want this, I want that. And you're going back and forth, and this is looking better and better by the minute. It's like, oh my God, this is real. Oh my God, they say they work here. They say they do this. They say they do that. It's like, I can say I'm the Queen of Sheba. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't mean I am, right? So then they come back and they say, but first I need a sample. Since I'm ordering so many, can you just send me that one for free as part of my discount? And then you put it in the fucking mail. Okay? There's no rule that says that just because they've been talking to you about a bulk order that they have to come back and make the bulk order. You send somebody something for free as a sample and they choose to walk, too bad. Etsy can't help you. As long as that person played the game and said all the right things. Oh, this isn't going to work out, but thanks. Right? And sometimes they really do want 100 gold chains. How do you know the difference? Always, always, always. Okay, here's how you get around this scam. I think what I need to do is I need to start collecting all the obvious scams and just do a complete video on just that. Okay, so for the bulk order scam, the first thing you're going to do with the bulk order scam is you're going to go, okay, there is a slim chance that this is real, especially if it's a more reasonable product. Oh, I'm hosting a birthday party for 30 kids, and I need this. Okay. I need a big banner. I need this. And then they ask for a sample. It's like, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'll give you the discount. I'll give you the bulk discount that you're asking for, which is fine. But I am going to charge you. So go ahead and pay for your sample, and I will deduct the cost of that sample as well once you make your full order. Okay. And just so you know, I need a X amount non-refundable deposit on that order. Or you can say, once I have your non-refundable deposit for the order, I'll go ahead and send you your sample. Make sure they're paying you at least the value of that initial item so that if they're scamming you, you've at least been paid for that. It's that simple. Sending out stuff for free in the hope that they're going to come back and buy more it's a great opportunity if they're telling you the truth, and it's a great scam. And the unfortunate reality, which really, really sucks, is that most of the time it's a scam. It's a really easy scam because even Etsy won't do anything about it. They'll say, this person was discussing it with you. Obviously the sample didn't meet their expectations and they've moved on. Because that does happen. It is a real thing. People come, I had a bulk order for 100 bags, right? And I did send her a sample. Abso-fucking-lutely, I sent her a sample, and it was a legitimate order, and I got the order. It does happen. It is real. It's a real thing that can happen with Etsy, but it's also something that people take advantage of as a scam. I happen to know who this person was because I'm part of a community. I sell mostly into a specific community, so I knew who she was. So I sent her her sample for free. But if somebody if somebody I have never heard of contacts me and says, I want 100 bags, I want this, I want that, they're paying for their sample. No hard feelings, but you're paying for your sample because there's so many scammers that pretend they're looking for bulk orders. And if they are legit and really want 100 of your gold chains, they will pay for their sample because they're going to get a much bigger overall discount once everything else shows up. Right? Legitimate people wanting legitimately large numbers of stuff, and they're going to have a problem with you over paying for the first item, knowing it's going to be deducted from their future stuff. They walk. Scammers walk. Scammers walk, and people who may be legitimate about wanting the bulk order, if they walk, you didn't want their business in the first place, because I can guarantee you that they were going to come back and ask for an even bigger discount or find another way to be a pain in your ass. Okay. So don't accommodate requests that you can't afford. Don't jump at every offer. And the random message one, this is where you get a message in your Etsy. Like I said, I'm mostly Etsy. This is where you get a message. I'm positive this must happen on Amazon Handmade all the time too. You get a message. I am looking for blah. I really like your shop. Blah, blah, blah. Please click this link and take a look at the list of items so that you can let me know which one. I've got this thing coming up and I've got this list of items that I need. Please check any of these items that you can do for me. I'll be happy to buy from you. You click the link, it's going to steal your account information. It's a virus. Random messages that make no sense or that seem too good to be true. And like I said, don't just automatically assume it's a scam, but reach out to the social medias. If you're in social media forums or Facebook groups or Reddit, if you're in those groups, reach out and ask, because because the reason why these groups sprung up is for people to help each other. And if what is going on is related to a common scam, they will let you know what to look out for and give you tips and ideas on how to make sure that it's a legit transaction and not a scam that's about to happen. But I will say that anybody who sends you an Etsy message asking you to click a link that goes off of Etsy, don't trust it. And if you think that you can trust it, message them and just tell them I need you to send me the list. I really can't open links from Etsy. Whatever. Okay. So that's avoiding that scam. Well, yeah, so I need to do a video talking about avoiding those scams, and then I'm doing a video talking about how to avoid scams. There are some really specific scams that are out there, and but they come and go. Those are probably the biggest ones. General scamming in opportunistic scamming is mostly what we're talking about today, which I think I've already said. We're like, what, 40 minutes in? And now let's clarify what kind of scamming we're talking about. I'm really on point with staying on track. Okay. Decline sales that start problematic. This is the person that says, I need all this stuff from you, blah, 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 blah. And, why can't you send me this? Why can't I have this? This one person came into the group. They had a customer that was like rude from the beginning. And then it's like, okay, well, before I buy this to you, I want to confirm that I'm getting this. And they started listing off all these products that they wanted as their freebies. Their freebies were worth more than what they were originally willing to buy in the first place. And be aware, if you send a freebie and the person says, this isn't working out, I want a refund, they don't have to send the freebies back to you because they didn't pay for that. You're not allowed to ask for it back. That violates, there's this weird policy thing that happens because a free gift is supposed to remain a free gift regardless of what happens with the original transaction. And again, opportunistic scammers, the reason why they're opportunistic is because they do already know the rules and they can spot the loopholes that you didn't. Sales that start off problematic, where they're demanding extra stuff that you are not normally offering, where they're demanding you go the extra mile, where they're demanding premium materials that you don't, oh, I don't offer this, oh, if you want this product, it's going to cost extra. Well, I'm not paying extra. Why aren't you giving me this? Blah, 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 blah. I'm your customer. A customer's always right. It's like, I'm sorry, I cannot complete this order for you. Please go someplace else. If you have a problematic person that is, for starters, you shouldn't have to do business with anybody that treats you like crap, regardless of how you think it's going to ultimately go in the end. Period. If somebody's treating you like crap, don't do business with them. You are literally, this is how we've turned the customer is always right to the customer is always entitled to treat us like garbage. You are not allowed to be mean. You cannot turn around and say, you're being an asshole and I won't do business with you. You cannot do that. That violates Etsy's rules. And sometimes these problematic people are trying to get you to react so that they can then threaten you. Well, now you're going to send this to me for free or I'm reporting you to Etsy. Opportunistic, right? If they can get you to, and some of these people are just kids with nothing better to do. Like, scamming is not rampant. I should have started the video with this too. Scamming is not rampant the way that we think it is. So yeah, just decline your problematic sales because a lot of like I said, 5% of the people cause 95% of the problems, and the people that are most likely to scam you are part of that 5%. If you're spotting, oh, you're one of those 5%, I probably shouldn't do business with you because if it's going to go bad, it's going to go really bad, and it's going to end up in you giving away stuff, giving refunds, doing whatever, right? Okay. Yeah, and I did mention this. I've got a little note. I've got a little note to myself over here to make sure I don't forget the points that matter to me, at least. Avoiding getting scammed is really simple. It is. I'm making it sound very, very daunting, and that's not true. Like I said, I've got 7,500 sales over the last 4 years. I've never been scammed. I have never been scammed. I know lots of people that have never been scammed, and generally speaking, those of us who have never had to deal with a scammer are generally, never or rarely, sooner or later I'm going to get a scammer. It's just a matter of time. I've had messages, please click this link because I want. And it's like, I just didn't click the link. So yeah, I guess I have dealt with a scammer. I've just never been taken in by a scammer. This is what most of us that are on, this is what most of the people that I know of in the social medias who have not been scammed are doing. They are not self-advertising all over the social media. I self-advertise. I mean, I'm in a couple of groups that are related to what I sell. So if and when it's realistic to mention, I was like, oh yeah, I've got this going on. Oh hey, people have been asking about this. Just so you know, I've got a few in my shop right now. Blah blah blah. Right? That's normal. That's expected. That's in keeping with what I do. But if you're going to sell carburetors in a mom's group or sell diapers in a men's car group, you're going to attract attention. It's like, you must be really fucking desperate to be here. Oh, wait, I can get some free stuff because I happen to know Etsy's rules. Putting a target on your back is easy to do, and it's also easy to avoid. And like I said, the two biggest ones are acting desperate and shit-talking your... I think shit-talking your buyers, because people share the conversations that they are having with their customers, and then suddenly they're getting scammed. Because it's like, well, the customer gets you riled up. You start shit-talking them because, okay, I need to back up. Okay. Shit-talking your buyers on social media. A lot of people that are shit-talking buyers, I once told a customer, they share war stories. Oh, I told my customer this. Oh, I did that. They start talking about what they did and didn't do to deal with these customers that they hated, right? So once they start advertising just how they're talking to their customers behind the scenes, it's like if your customer had taken that as a complaint to Etsy, they would have not only gotten their money back, but you would have gotten a strike. We don't know. Nobody knows for sure what Etsy does behind this. Okay, we know for sure for some things, but nobody knows 100% for sure what Etsy does and doesn't do to determine who gets to keep a shop. If you're doing sketchy shit. If you're treating your customers like garbage, but nobody's complaining, you might get away with it for a long time. If you're treating your customers like garbage and they're opening a case, I want my money back because I just don't want to do business with somebody who calls me these names. We don't know where the background is on that. So yeah. You get hostile if you get hostile with your buyers and you admit to it on social media, share a screenshot, start sharing war stories, do whatever, that is gold to a scammer. It's like, oh, all I've got to do is be shitty to you. You're going to get shitty back, and then I'm going to open my case with Etsy, and I'm going to win for customer satisfaction. Etsy will do that. I think I just made a big circle on that one. I don't care if I made a big circle on that. You guys know it. You guys know I never stay 100% on track anyway. So don't just be all about advertising your shit whenever, wherever. It doesn't work. It does not work. It doesn't actually really result in sales. People think it does, but it doesn't. Okay, Pinterest. Pinterest is where you advertise yourself. That's what it's for. Pinterest exists for that. My Etsy sellers group, where the focus is to help other sellers work out issues and kinks behind the scenes, is not the place to tell me that you sell teddy bears. It makes no sense. It's Yes, you have an Etsy shop, but I'm a seller, not a buyer, right? You're advertising to other sellers. It's like everybody else is reading your message going, I've got shit to sell. This is ridiculous. Why are you trying to get me buy from you? Anyway. I keep saying I should edit and I never fucking do. God, I'm lazy. Anyway, so yeah. Don't be afraid to reach out for help do not respond to the customer in anger and then come back in anger, in panic, in this. Do not, oh, blah, 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 this is so bad, I'm so sorry, let me fix this for you, and then come back 24 hours after that and go, oh, gee, this is going on with my customer and I don't know what to do. It's like, well, for starters, you should have never responded. If you're not sure, if you think this customer might be a scammer, reach out first. Get your feedback first. Give yourself that 24 hours and stop being so fucking paranoid. To stop being so paranoid about I need the seller badge, I need this whatever seller badge, so I have to reply within 24 hours. So I couldn't wait for an answer. It's like you can absolutely wait for an answer. What's more important, a badge or keeping your shop, or not being targeted by fucking rando scammers all the time? Anyway. Some people get targeted by scammers all the time, and these are the mistakes that this is what universally they all seem to be doing. This is why I've reached the opinion that I have, that this is what puts the target on their back, some combination or another. And yeah, that's it. I don't think there's a whole lot that I need to add. Like I said, there's specific scams out there, but if you're active on social media, it's really easy to find out where they are. It'll just take the really obvious bullseyes off your back and make it way less likely that you're going to have to deal with stuff like that. I'm just going back in circles now. Okay, that's it. That's my take on it. I'm going to say goodbye now and get on with my day. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. And don't forget, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do the things. I'm trying to take over the world one subscriber at a time, and I need your help to do it. In the meantime, take care.